You're watching Teng Tools Muscle Garage, the home of New Zealand's toughest muscle cars, hot rods and street machines. Muscle Garage is proudly brought to you by Teng Tools in association with Mount Shop, Meguiar's and Niedercar. Coming up, the New Zealand Burnout Championship smoke show rolls into Huntly. And we hit Rangiora for a bit of shed raiding. But first up, our mates at Meguiar's sent us north to catch up with Mr. Clinton Wheeler and his chopped and candy-coated Holden EK Delivery.
As a young fella, 15 years old, I was just into Holdens. Saw some magazines and had a gold EH on the front cover. And ever since then I was hooked. I've had tons of Holdens. I couldn't tell you how many, just lots. Everyone's had a Holden, whether it be an HQ, EH or HR, whatever. There's memories from those cars I remember my dad had an HQ and we towed a caravan around, how many times have I heard that? But yeah, definitely a Kiwi Aussie icon, for sure.
But not too many memories feature a chopped EK Delivery van. The initial bodywork, including that revised roofline, was performed in Australia. It was once the car was on our shores that Bream Bay's Clinton Wheeler would enter the picture. Although, as he would discover, taking over another person's major project isn't always the easiest way of doing things.
Andrew Clapworthy phoned me up one day and he says, "Clint, I've got this the EK for sale." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I went and had a look at it. Okay, yep, I purchased it. I kind of probably shouldn't have, but I did. There's no plan. You just get the car and start and fudge your way through and see what you end up with. Yeah, after 4 years, that's what I ended up with. It's just different, It's you don't see a roof chop panel van very often. It's a hard one to explain. Hearse pops up in my mind a lot. A lot of people think it's a hearse. And well, you'd have to be a bit short. No one over 6 foot, please.
Following a path forged by customising pioneers of the 50s and 60s, there's little shortage of early American cars that have proven themselves perfect candidates for heavy body modification. Hey, you'd be forgiven for thinking a big chop on a 50 Merc was a factory option. GM's Holden family? Well, not so much. But the Delivery boasts a heap of traditional custom influence, starting with the glaringly obvious, the chopped and dropped roof height. The EK's factory high crown top making way for a smoother version donated by a wagon.
It gets rid of the big bulby looking roof, and I actually decided to put this sun visor on because the awkward rake in the screen, it almost looked like something out of the Jetsons. It was quite cool, it's a bit futuristic, but whack that sun visor on and man, it just changed it, and I'm like, yeah, I'm glad I did that. Yes, but hey, it's it's got the Harley tank, it's got the candy paint job, it's got the chop, it's got it ticks a lot of the boxes, yeah, but it is only a dirty old Holden at the end of the day.
But it's not all shock tactics. The success of the final product, without doubt, comes from the meticulous attention to the small stuff.
Yeah, I think so, definitely. It's the finer details, Originally, when I first got the car, I thought, oh, cool, I'm just going to paint it matte black and drive it around. But then it was kind of, no, that's not going to happen. You had to do it justice, It's a lot of work was put into it previously. It's been in the process of building for many, many years, and it just had to be finished. And to be honest, I was in too deep not to finish it. It just, whatever, had to be done.
Perhaps the most impressive part of this build? Much of getting the Holden done took place right here. Pal Goose on the gun and the helping hands of some good mates.
What are you talking about? Look around. This is a great workshop. Have you seen our booth? Look, most of the work was done here in this dusty workshop. Pretty much it was all done under that gazebo. The candy paint all inside the doors, in the guards, all the internal parts. It was prepped here, blocked here, took it outside, wet blocked it with the hose with the gumboots on. Back, that's what we used to do. Chucked it on a truck, took it to Auckland, and sprayed it in a booth down there over a long weekend, and brought it back. Oh well, you got to do what you got to do, and work with what you've got. Yep, I can't afford a high-end workshop.
While customs of the 60s might have kept their hood shut, that wasn't going to fly here. This EK is beautiful on the inside too. The engine combo is a simple one, a carbed small block Chev. Though dressed to kill, it makes a perfect base for clocking up the miles.
No, definitely got to use it. If you don't use it, you lose it, I tell you. Okay, I've got a lot of stone chips already. It doesn't get trailered. It's warranted, registered, on road. Just use it as much as you can. Yep, take it anywhere, all over the place. I took it off-road this morning, on the sand even. Someone made me go on the sand. Want me to show you how it skids?
And while Clinton's clearly enjoying his time behind the wheel, maybe a little too much, with the project now well on the road, it would seem there's a Holden-shaped ditch that still needs a bit of scratching.
Yeah, yes. I've got my eyes on a couple at the moment, so I might be going overseas to get one. Not America, Australia.
Okay, from the north to the south now. If 60s style show customs are your thing, then you'll like this one. Those good folk from Mount Shop sent us shed raiding, Rangiora style.
Yeah, it is definitely addiction. Don't drink much, never smoked, don't do drugs or anything, but this is where all the money goes. But with these things here, you buy them as wrecks and rusted out things, and money just goes in slowly. You don't notice it going so fast, but they're like sponges. I bought that when I was 16. It's actually my first, it is the first car I ever owned, the 39. Still got it. It wasn't quite like that though, but yeah. Oh, when I was younger, What wheel tyres, yuck, I hated the what wheel tyres. I hated fender skirts or wheel spats, or what do you want to call them. The sort of style I like now is sort of nostalgia type ones. Love lowriders, Mexican stuff, tail draggers, lead sleds, pre-48 nostalgia. Not a great fan of billet stuff. Used to be once, but not now.
Nope, it's all about sticking to a theme. And looking around, there's little doubt where Graham and Sonia's tastes have led them of late. That goes too for the vehicle surroundings. A rather fitting backdrop, you'd have to say, and one from the road you wouldn't even know existed.
Just sort of lent itself to be sort of desert Mexican-y style with cow skulls and bones and all sorts lying around everywhere. Bits of drums and stuff. Bought a lot of knickknacks from the States too, like there's signs and number plates and bits and pieces, so everything sort of ties in.
Sitting handily within striking distance of South Island icon muscle car madness, Graham and Sonia are very much regulars. And it was there where we first checked out this Model A Roadster. Powered by a 350 and Powerglide combo, the low-slung rod actually started off as a 27T glass build before the call was made, if it was going to be done properly, then it better be how Graham wanted it. That meant a switch to steel, Model A steel. The 39? Well, as noted, that's Graham's first car right there. And now that the truck is done, there are a few devious plans afoot for the sedan. Truck. This truck. A rarity in New Zealand in that it's a real deal full custom. What does that mean? The short version is a ton of work.
It started its life as it was a 48 Chevy pickup, Thrift Master I think they call them. Yeah, the roof's been chopped 4 inches. The guard's been lifted up on the body 3 inches. The bonnet was sectioned. The cab itself hasn't been sectioned, so that's still got plenty of room in there. The floor's been channeled 3.5 inches. That means it's been lifted up. Front guards are factory, apart from the headlights, which are, I'd like to say Buick, but they're actually Austin Westminster. Yeah, so the back half has been all custom built. Usually most Chevy trucks were sort of like quite a cool roundy shapes, and when it comes to the back end they're all square, so that's been custom made. Back is a Chevy Nomad tailgate, which is quite cool. I happened to see Ben Johnson had a Nomad there and I thought looked quite cool, and that's about 1956 or 55 Nomad, and the car sort of the truck went up to 1954, so they're very intertwined.
It takes a brave soul to march headfirst into a custom project. Making it work is something of an art form and very much relies on sweating the small stuff.
You just sort of got to have a right eye. Yeah, like grills have to be level with the firewall, and back guards have to be level with the front guards, and the gap between the guard and the cab has to be just the right amount too, because I do like things in proportion.
The task of lugging the truck around is a bit less wild, but reliable. A dressed-up small block Chev feeds a Turbo 400 and Holden limited slip diff. Up front, there's more Holden, a Sunbird front end.
As long as the car looks good and the motor's reliable, that's all I'm into. I'm not into doing a million miles an hour or anything. Burnouts, well, that's in the past.
And for this couple who live and breathe hot rod and rockabilly culture, clearly this is no passing phase. It's a happy obsession and one they're not looking to find a fix for anytime soon.
No, I think it's great. More kids should be into cars and stuff. The whole world would be a lot better place if people had a hobby, a hot rod hobby.
Amazing results, even at full sight.
You're back with Teng Tools Muscle Garage, proudly brought to you by Teng Tools, in association with Mount Shop, Meguiar's and Meguiar. Right, thanks to our mates at Meguiar, we're off to catch up with the New Zealand Burnout Championship Series as they take it to the towns. Today, the bright lights of Huntly. We introduced you to NZBC in our very first episode when the Championship 2 was brand new. While burnouts are hardly an unfamiliar pastime in New Zealand, they were, however, based around one-off events or relegated to being a sideshow. NZBC looked to up the game, and Jen and Ricky Island switched hats from competitors to promoters. A series was in order if the bar was to be lifted, with more seat time and the stage set for a higher standard of burnout car. They kicked it all off with a bang too, shipping a couple of our Trans-Tasman neighbours over to show us the ropes. With the second season of events now underway, you have to say it's worked. Traction, not a word you usually associate with this motorsport, but it's gaining some.
Really enjoyed it. It's been a great year. We've had a lot of fun. Difference in some of the cars has been phenomenal.
Things are progressing in such an amazing direction. We've found the six-cylinder Pro class has really stepped up with a lot of amazing work gone into their cars. The good old V8 NAs, they definitely put on a good show, but definitely our Pro class is just going through the roof.
The series moves around New Zealand. Today, it was about taking it to the towns. Huntley Speedway in this case. But if you're a serious competitor, well, that means playing home and away.
We've definitely got competitors now that are purposely in the series to win it. Like, they've already committed to all 3 rounds that we've got for this series and the grand final, which will be held Easter weekend next year. Their aim is hopefully to get that Burnout Masters ticket to head to what would be Summonet's 33.
Rob took out the Pro Class in NZBC's first series. His Agro XB Falcon just about to be loaded on a boat for Canberra.
It's once in a lifetime, really. You know, you don't really get many opportunities like that in New Zealand, and yeah, it's always been a dream come true to go to Australia and to be entered in Summonets. It's unreal, really. You know.
The New Zealand contingent has already seen firsthand what our Aussie mates can do behind the wheel. NZBC played host to Burnout legends Lynchy and Mad Sam, who tore up our local pads in 2017. The sport is huge in Australia. Cash prizes reach 6 figures, and the investment in the vehicles is even higher still. Daunting goalposts sure, but it gives our local lads and lasses a clear idea of where this all can go.
We're still obviously behind with their competitions and the amount, and definitely with the standard of the cars over there, but I reckon we give it another year and we'll be giving Aussies a run for their money. Fingers crossed.
Judging a motorsport that accommodates creativity and flair can make things a bit more open to interpretation than the usual black and white result of who crosses the finish line first. But there's similar examples at hand.
I liken it exactly to drifting. We're turning smoke and money into noise and entertainment for a crowd. And interpretation, absolutely across the board. Everyone has good days and bad days. Sometimes you'll hit a wall, sometimes you'll leave a tyre on. There's all sorts of things that can go wrong. Rod's out of the engine, it's just part of the course, nature of the game, and that's where we're at. So as far as, the judging and interpretation, I think it's absolutely identical to drifting, absolutely, in every sense of the word.
Making a big impact on the Burnout pad this year, Joel Arcus, up from Wellington, ready to heap more torture on his new school Camaro. And things have got a bit more serious in the engine bay of late, courtesy of its force-fed LS2.
Yeah, I've got a bigger motor in it now. It's a 408 cube, LS2 based, putting out about twice the horsepower that my old motor used to, so it's changed the whole car. It makes it a lot of fun and getting used to it and stuff, so going well so far. Lots of smoke, lots of revs, aggressiveness, and putting on a good show for the crowd pretty much is what it's about, and having fun at the same time.
And Joel's Camaro is a good example of the new wave of purpose-built cars, enjoying the freedom of not needing a WAF.
Yeah, it is getting a lot more serious. It's not just burnouts, but there's other competitions, there's other events like Power Cruise and Chrome, and there's a lot of opportunity to drive your car even when it's not road legal. So you can go a bit harder with your car too when it doesn't have to be road legal, mate. Make it a bit louder and make the engine a bit taller and the tints a bit darker than legal, and makes for a cooler car.
The series is designed to be family friendly, and that's not only for the spectators. A tweak to the format sees NZBC introduce a Young Guns category this series. It's proved a popular move.
Definitely the case for us guys. All about teaching these young fellas to keep it off the street, and you can still have a good time, you know. So, very family orientated. Yeah, a bit of a odd one, a Sunbeam 1970 Sunbeam Rapier. Got a turbocharged V6 in there. Turbo 350. Pulling about 358 horsepower at the rear wheels. Just enough to have fun.
And if Warren suggests the Rapier was a bit of an odd one.
It's an AU Falcon station wagon that's been chopped into a ute, and it's all been done by itself. Yeah, called a Fal Crewman.
Basically a stock motor, grassroots stuff, and right up to, it's all money, how much money you want to throw at it, really. Yeah, just have some fun. It doesn't matter if it's a $500 car or a $5,000 car, it's just having fun.
And gearing up for his Summonets debut was Rob. While the XB will make the boat ride, he's not short of backup options. Today, peddling this suitably angry XY.
So this is a 557 with a stroker. It's got an 871. It's running on methanol. It's got a 9-inch. It's got a C6 transmission, and just the main usual stuff, you know. Yeah, it's making close to 1,100 horsepower at the wheels, with about 1,200 foot-pounds of torque. It's more or less just something for us to go away for the weekend and do, to get away and do something, you know. It gives us something to look forward to, you know. And it keeps it off the street, mate, you know. There's one thing why I started this, was to get off the street, mate, you know. It was getting me in trouble after trouble and fines after fines, you know. It's like I could have had 10 cars by now, the amount of fines that I've paid, you know.
And that's what NZBC is all about, keeping it off public roads and cementing its place as a real deal motorsport in New Zealand.
Yeah, some people get it, some people don't. I don't get people playing golf on the weekends, you know, it's as simple as that, and plenty of people do, but each their own, and if there's a market for what we're doing and people want to see it, we'll keep doing it. Yeah, simple as that.
Despite a glowing forecast, Huntly didn't quite manage to turn on the weather. With regular showers giving way to prolonged rain, the tough call was made to turn the day into an exhibition. The surface not providing an even playing field for fair judging. From here, NZBC takes a bit of a break, but fires up for Summer Jam in January before journeying south for the Southern Smokefest at Christchurch's Ruapuna Speedway. Every week we're giving our viewers the chance to win a Teng Tools and Meguiar's gift pack worth $250. Simply head to themotorhood.com and hit the Teng Tools Muscle Garage link. By entering our weekly draws at the end of the series, one lucky viewer will win a massive Teng Tools 622-piece automotive toolkit and 7-drawer workstation, a complete Meguiar's car care pack, and a $500 mount shop voucher. The total value of this grand prize is nearly $6,000. Good luck, everyone. Teng Tools Muscle Garage was proudly brought to you by Teng Tools. Get organised. Mount Shop, undercar specialists. Meguiar's, people who love cars love Meguiar's. And Need a Car, the easy way to research and buy cars online.